So it has been a couple months since I've been using the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, the best of what Android has to offer, and there are a couple things that I hate about the phone. But that's another video. Today's video is going to be about the things I absolutely love about the S24 Ultra, coming from a user who's used an iPhone before, coming from a user who used the S24, the baseline. Here is everything I love about the Galaxy S24 Ultra a couple months later. Let's get straight into it. So first up, we have the biggest part of the phone, the most obvious part of the phone. We have the screen. Now what Samsung have done compared to last generation is they removed the edge display, and they've had that since the Galaxy S6, and I kind of miss it because I did use phones with the edge screen. It did have its own functionality, but now that we don't have it, it also does kind of make me look forward and be like, yep, this is much better, because now there is more space to use the actual S Pen with, and the overall phone does actually look much better than it did before. Of course, we have the 120Hz and the screen is so smooth. A peak brightness of 2600 nits, and you won't even be able to feel like, yeah, this screen could have been brighter, because yes, 2600 nits is very bright. Of course, it's a Samsung panel. We have all of that basically amazing sharpness. It's a 1440p display. Colors are great. To be honest, when the phone did come out, people did complain that the actual saturation of colors and vibrancy wasn't as bright as it could have been, but Samsung did release an update to address the situation, and now the display is honestly just perfect. Also, Samsung added this new type of coating onto their displays for the S24 Ultra, which basically minimizes all the reflections, and it does a really good job, to the point where if you have been using an S24 Ultra like without the screen protector and using it just with the display and getting the most out of that coating, switching back to a device that doesn't have that coating really makes you miss the coating that they did. I don't know where the idea came from. Whoever made that idea at Samsung, honestly, give you a pat on the back if you're watching this video. Probably not, but either way, the screen is something I'm definitely loving about the S24 Ultra. I'm not going to say I love the cameras, alright? There are 4 cameras on the back of the phone. There's a selfie camera, but we're not going to really talk about that. Specifically, I have been loving the 5x telephoto camera. Now, I've been using an iPhone 13 Pro. That phone came with a 3x telephoto camera. Now, the S24 Ultra does also have a 3x telephoto camera. I will be talking about that in a different video though. But yeah, we have a 5x lens, which was changed from the 10x lens on the S23 Ultra, and this was probably the best move they've done in terms of cameras for their Ultra phones. It's much more usable, it's much more versatile. Like, yes, 10 times was a bigger number, and yes, technically you can get a little bit of more detail zooming in 100 times. But realistically, are you going to be zooming in more 5 times or 100 times? Come on now, make it make sense. The 5 times has been really nice to take portraits with. I'm going to be showing some examples here on the screen, and it is better than the iPhone 15 Pro Max from my testing. And if you know what you're doing, if you know how to use the lens, the 5 times is really fun to use. It's one of the best things they've done for the Ultra series in a long time. I will not be missing the 10 times lens. The 5 times lens is brilliant. Next up, the S Pen. Now, I know many people that buy the Ultra phone don't really end up using the S Pen. It's just like this little thing they have in the features, like, hey, we have the S Pen. But I'm not gonna lie, no other company can do it as well as Samsung. Many people don't know that you can actually use the S Pen for more than just writing notes. You can scroll through photos because it has a gyroscope inside. You can literally do air commands. You can be Harry Potter if you want to. And it also has basically next to no latency. If you have an iPad Pro and you have an Apple Pencil and you've tried drawing with the Apple Pencil, you'll notice that it's a really smooth experience, almost paper-like. Well, the S24 Ultra also has barely any latency, all while barely taking up any space in the phone, to the point where nobody notices. It's a 5000 milliamp hour battery at the end of the day in the phone, as well as an S Pen, as well as a brilliant set of cameras. Next up, I'm going to be talking about the color and the build. Now, Samsung did some subtle things with the color and the build. First of all, let's talk about the actual build. Yes, they did smoothen out the front of the screen. They did smoothen out the back. Overall, it's got a really nice shape. The sides are a bit curved. They were much boxier last time. It's a bit curved. Now, I'm not talking about the actual edges. Those are still very sharp and will hurt your hands. But I'm talking about the actual edges. They are made of titanium now, and titanium is a much more premium material at the end of the day. But yeah, I do really like the titanium build, what they've done to this phone, and it's all about the subtle tweaks that they've done just to make the overall experience better. Also, the new color, Many people do say that, hey, it's kind of a copy of what Apple did with the iPhone 15 Pros, but I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of prefer the color from the S24 Ultra over the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It does have a bit more saturation. But yeah, a couple months later, I think that's basically everything that I've been absolutely loving about the S24 Ultra. Obviously, there are other things, but I've been finding that the screen, the 5x telephoto camera, the S Pen, and just the overall build quality really just make me admire the phone and makes me feel like the £1,300 spent on this phone is actually really well put. So yeah, what do you guys love about the S24 Ultra? Make sure to leave it in the comments, and I just have to say this, there will be a video coming out with things I hate, absolutely hate about the S24 Ultra. But that video will be coming out soon, so if you don't want to miss that video, make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.